Alright, so now I started this video a little bit late because I wasn't thinking about making a video, but let's see here. I'm going to install this range hood that I got off Amazon to replace the old one here that had gotten broken, which was you know, these regular cheap black ones from Home Depot. So essentially this is the hood range, the new one. Looks like it's not damaged. So I already took the old hood range off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm trying to decide if I'm going to keep this cabinet, which, you know, it still has some storage in there, or take that totally off and put the new hood range here and just build out the top here to hide the vent pipe to go outside. Now, the other cabinet here, the other hood range that was here, it was being used as internal, and I never finished actually running this pipe outside, so I had to cut the hole and everything through the siding. But so now I'm just deciding if to leave the cabinet, and if I do leave the cabinet, right, I'm gonna probably have to cut another vent hole, because the yeah, I might have to make this a little bit wider, because the new vent is 6-inch. There's a 6-inch pipe, a round pipe that's gonna go straight up, and then I'll cut a 6-inch hole over here. So let's see what I'm gonna do. And this yeah, the hood range doesn't seem to be damaged. Right, I got the one with the baffles where you just pull this, it pulls these little clips here down, and you're able to take these out. You can put these in a dishwasher to clean them. And it has this, I think the most of the weight on this is this motor right here. So this motor is pretty big. Let's see, let's take this one here. Doesn't seem that to be have any scratches on the thing. It's all laminated with this plastic, so I guess it was made, you know, the plastic's already covered like that when they're manufacturing it. Seems to be fine. If there's any kind of scratches in here, it's probably minimal. Probably just from shipping. But yeah, it's gonna be, supposedly this has 700 CFM, so, you know, versus the one from Home Depot, which I don't even know if they listed CFM. I mean, probably like, if it does, it's probably like 200 CFM. But if this works out, I'm gonna install one of these. I'm gonna install one of these in my apartment, essentially. But let's see. And let's see the top. Okay, so it works. The fan's here. Oh, okay. So it has that spinning, rotating fan. It's gonna suck the air out of this. And this one has a plug versus the other vent, which actually had to be hardwired. So, I mean, there is a plug in the back here, but so that's another thing, another challenge here with this. So let's see what happens. Looks like I'm in the same place. It's note. I just want to note that if you have one of these, the old ones, rectangular with the rectangular back, and you want to put this in, right? This different hood range, you basically have to have the plug. So what I had to do was cap this off, connect the BX up to a new box, new junction box, cover that off with a metal plate, and then install this new box in here. And then you have to fix all the sheetrock and everything that you busted up to basically run that whole thing. So now that's done, basically it's set up to have this hang on the wall with 2 brackets. So I'm gonna basically go over the instructions for this and see if I can start installing it. Once this is hung up, right, I'll know exactly how I'm gonna cut this cabinet. And you see this cabinet has a lot of grease. probably just clean it off. But this is the top of the cabinet. But what I'm gonna do is probably, this is the cut I need to make at the bottom of the cabinet, so that the vent, this portion of the hood range, is gonna fit part of this top of this pyramid. This hood range is gonna fit inside of this cabinet. Because if I were to install this without, and you see I traced it out, I lifted it up. This is a two-man job, I'm doing it by myself. So lifted it up, you know, marked off some like temporary penciling here with where stuff would go. And if I were to do that without putting the cabinet back, I think it would look nice. The problem is the vent doesn't go into the ceiling, right? I'm gonna put the vent over here on the top of this cabinet. So I'm gonna take a look, but I don't think I'll be able to run the vent through the ceiling because, you know, the studs, actually I probably could. It's just really, since this is the second floor, right? The roof is right here. Right, you probably can't see it. So the overhang is right here with the gutters. So if I were to go up into the ceiling, it would actually put me up in the attic. So then to run that vent, I would actually have to go through the attic, which is, you know, use of storage and stuff like that. And the vent is gonna be resting on the floor in the attic, which I don't want to do. So I'm gonna basically put the cabinet back, cut the hole for the cabinet to fit, right? And I'm gonna use, I guess I put this up. Oh, it's in this box. So the vertical metal pieces here, I'm just gonna use probably one piece, right? Just to bring it into the cabinet. Actually, I probably don't even need it. I'm gonna probably just use one piece, or maybe no pieces, and then bring the vent straight up and just run it straight to this hole up here. And the pipe will go straight through this. If I wanted to use this metal piece, I might have to cut this piece of this, where this hole is. I'm gonna have to cut it into a square to accommodate that metal piece. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So the problem here you're gonna encounter is with the sheetrock. See, there's one stud right on the side. So the middle one busted out. The last one isn't really holding anything. So I had to drill a hole here, put a screw in that would actually catch a stud. Alright. So yeah, this thing doesn't really weigh that much. So having those two screws holding it up, really, because they wanted you to screw it into the wall with these cheap plastic anchors. So if you really want to be secure, get the metal anchors in Home Depot that screw in and attach to the wall directly. You know, I wouldn't use that, but since I have a stud, I got two screws in there, I'm good. All right, so here, this is what it would be when it's installed in here. So all you have to, this installation is really simple if you already have it set up where you have that outlet available, right? So that you can plug this plug in. So now, you know, we see we're good here on the level. Right, so let's do a test before, you know, I install this whole thing. There you go. Okay. Now, this is the light. Let me see. Is this supposed to be touchscreen? Oh, now it's on. Okay. All right. So red light here. I mean, I didn't test it out. I think I saw it on Amazon. There's a video. So let's turn it on. That's the light. So you see here, both lights are working. All right. I don't think I have to take anything out of these fans. All right. All I have to do is take the plastic off. The time. And let's see. So that's the highest setting. Wow. Not bad, a lot of air. Wow, that's a lot of air. This is a really good exhaust fan. As long as you get a good one that's undamaged, I would definitely recommend it. This thing is pulling a lot of air. It's actually making less noise than this stupid other one here. I'm probably definitely gonna buy one of these for my my apartment. You know, it's pretty insane. The only thing with this is that it has a top vent and it had a back vent. So the one that I have installed, it's venting straight directly out the bottom, straight like where that black box is. It's going straight outside. So if I do get anything, I'll definitely look at the CFM on it. But it's a little bit lower. That's lower. It's a lot lower. And then off. Okay, so it works. No issues. And installation, like I said, is very easy with that one bracket. Literally one bracket with 3 screws. You hang it off the top, and that's it. And I think, yeah, there's a hole here and there's another hole over there. Right, what I'm gonna probably do, I'm gonna mark those and I'm gonna see if I can put a couple of screws in there. So that way, you know, just in case somebody's wiping it or something and they don't actually pull it and, you know, something happens with it. So, all right, so I installed those 2 screws, right? Again, it was going straight into the sheetrock. Don't follow the instructions, just use your normal way of putting in an anchor into the sheetrock, and don't use the anchors. Get a better anchor. So now it's installed here, it works. Don't forget to put these 2 flaps in. Right? You kind of have to bend them in the center gently and fit them into those holes on each side, right? And when you turn it on, second highest, this is the lowest setting, and that's off. All right, and the pointing thingies have to be pointing up. That way they don't get jammed together, I guess, stuck together. So yeah, so these instructions, I mean, you know, I guess it's not that bad, but if you never installed anything before, yeah, it might be a little bit tough following these instructions that came with this. So now I'm gonna I'm gonna set up the metal piece to see what would happen. I don't think I need it because I'm gonna put the cabinet back on the top, and I'm just gonna build this top part of this cabinet. I'm gonna build out a sheetrock frame and put sheetrock on it. So the pipe is gonna be in there, it's gonna be hidden, you know, and that will be it. I'm not sure. I don't think they need the metal pieces, but we'll see. All right, so one thing I realized is that, you know, I placed this plug like directly in the center, right, of where the chimney part is going to be, where this metal is going to be. Now, I actually got it to fit there with the vent pipe, but the fact that the plug is not a flat plug and it actually sticks out like at least 2 inches, right? The pipe actually has to kind of bend for the plug to be there. So the plug could have been offset, but then I don't know, you know, I guess a little more, you know, to one side of where this is gonna line up would have worked perfectly. So I had to order like a 1 foot flat plug from Amazon, and you know, I'll get that in a couple of days. But I also had ordered a tube because I knew that the one that came with this hood range would not reach the hole that I wanted to. And then the other part is, you know, I don't want to have to stretch this too much, right? The next thing is this doesn't come with clamps to clamp the end of the hose to this top black piece here. So you would have to buy clamps to do that because it doesn't have any in the box. So basically, you know, the pipe that I got from Amazon is gonna come with the clamps, and I needed a cap for outside anyway, so I got the cap. So once those reach, I can actually finish installing this. So what I'm gonna just basically do now is just clean up all this mess that I made here. All right, take all these wires and everything, all these extra things. I'm gonna just take all this garbage out, and then we can proceed with this on another day. So, but at least, like I said, I know this thing works. You gotta turn it on, and why it's not turning on? Okay, there we go. know that this thing actually works really well. The air, I'm telling you, the air flow on this is really high on high. So if you cook a lot of food with a lot of grease like my parents do, then it's worth installing something like this with a high CFM. It doesn't have to be exactly, you know, maybe this model, but they have other models that would have probably fit into the same space that I had here. So, you know, lesson learned, but this is a really pretty good hood ring. And the fact that these baffles, you know, you can take these out and put these in the dishwasher, you know, that makes it even better of a value. So what I'm gonna do now, like I said, is clean up, and I'll just have to wait for the remaining parts to come from Amazon. Now this hood range is probably what, half the price, or maybe the price of this stove. Yeah, I don't even know what the price of the stove is, but you probably get a stove for the price it is, right? This was like $250 with tax. So, but yeah, I'll probably see if I can cut the cabinet and put that on maybe, and that way I'll have one less thing to do. All right, so after a lot of cutting, yeah, I managed to save the cabinet. So what I'm gonna do is put the cabinet, leave the cabinet here, just clean it up, and that way there's still some storage space on the sides. You know, there's a gap on the side here because I couldn't get it to fit properly, so there's no gap here. There's a slight gap in the front and there's a big gap on the side, but it's not that bad. So basically all I have to do now is put the cabinet back on. This, I didn't screw anything on with this, so that's gonna just come off when I get the duct to run all the duct work and the new plug to plug it in. So that's it for day one. Essentially, I'm just gonna put the cabinet doors back on. I forgot to make a video of framing this, but whatever, I framed it out with the 2x2s that I bought yesterday. Put some 1/2-inch sheetrock up here because I had that laying around. Now I'm about to just plaster it up, and you know, everything is already working. The only thing I'm waiting for is a plug for this. All I gotta do is lift this up, plug it in with the flat plug, plug the actual plug in, and we'll be in business. I should probably unplug it, but anyway, so yeah. So now I'm just gonna plaster it and leave it to dry. I bought some trim to kind of hide these gaps under here. But the trim I bought was actually too big. So I'm gonna actually measure it this time and buy the one that's linear foot, and buy it that way, it'd be cheaper. Alright, but all in all, almost done. Alright, so it's plastered now. I'll just wait till it dries. Sand it, see wherever needs to be touched up. Sand it again. By then, but it's probably gonna be next week. I'm gonna have the next weekend, I'll probably have the trim to fix around here, fix the back here. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but so far it looks good. I could put the doors back on, but I'm not gonna put the doors on right now. It's easier to actually work with the doors off. So we'll see. Once I get the cord here, I can plug that in and set that out permanently. And then basically last thing here is sanding this, making sure it's nice and smooth, looks good. Then prime and paint this whole section in white, essentially. Probably gonna put a line there and then draw this whole piece here white, I guess. Maybe go all the way to the wall corner and make that white. But yeah, and that's it.